Candida is an opportunistic pathogenic yeast that is said to be the normal gut flora of the person and is present in the gastrointestinal tract and in the mouth of the 40 to 50% of the individuals. So whenever the candida has its overgrowth inside the body, so it leads to a disease that has different manifestations, and we will be talking about it in later in sections. So it can produce mucocutaneous manifestations, it can produce manifestations inside the mouth, inside the throat of the person, inside so many areas of the body where it is not supposed to be overgrowing. When it overgrows over there, so it leads to different manifestations. So this is the second section of our lecture, and in this section we will be discussing about Candida albicans. We will be focusing on its epidemiology, then about its pathophysiology, its pathology, and finally we will be winding up our section by discussing about its clinical features. So, starting our section with the introduction to Candida, it is the genus Candida is basically comprises of 200 different species of yeast, and it is the most common type of opportunistic pathogen, as we have discussed before. And are many are the endogenous human flora. So it is the human flora of the gastrointestinal tract of the mouth in the 40 to 50% of the individuals, and in the others it is not present. So if it enters in the person who is not normally used to having this type of organism, or those humans that do not have them as a normal human flora, so it can lead to disease in those type of individuals. So localized superficial disease limited to a particular mucocutaneous site, it has different manifestations that we will be discussing in this specific slide. So the first one is the entry trigo. That is the infection of opposed skin surfaces. Then we have paronychia, that is the infection of the nail bed, in which the nails become very hard, yellowish in color, and starts to break as well. Then we have diaper rash. Then we have vulvogenitis. We will be discussing this type in detail later in the lecture. And then we have thrush, that is the oral infection. Whenever the the fungus starts to overgrow inside the mouth of the person or inside the throat, the tongue of the person starts to appear very white in color because of those growths. So that is known as thrush, and that is the oral infection. And then finally we have esophagitis, that is the infection or the inflammation of the esophagus. These are the areas where the local infection can be caused by Candida. Okay, so Candida infections of deep tissues are much less common than the superficial infections, but can be life-threatening. Now, this is the appearance of the thrush that we have talked about. That was the oral infection. And here it is telling us that deep infections are rare, but can be life-threatening. So the deep infections can affect different very important organs of the body, such as brain, eyes, to the heart, where it can lead to candida endocarditis. Brain, eye, kidney, and the heart of the person, these are the areas where the deep infection can take place and can be life threatening, but at the same time it is very rare. So most candida infections derives from the endogenous flora. For example, when the flora that was it is commonly in gut, when it moves from gut, from the area where it is not supposed to be present, it causes a disease over there. So Candida albicans resides in the small number in the oropharynx of the person, and gastrointestinal tract and vagina can account for more than 95% of these infections, so commonly affects these areas of the body. Now coming towards the pathophysiology, the resident bacterial flora normally limits the number of fungal growths. Now what does this line mean? Now inside the body, there are different microorganisms such as bacteria that are present normally as the normal microbiota of the body. So against this type of fungal infection, the normal microbiota or the bacterial flora that is present inside the gut of the person starts to fight against that bacterial growth. So it also provides a form of defense or a form of immunity against the infection. The bacteria basically blocks candidal attachment to the epithelial cells. It competes with them for the nutrients and prevents conversion of fungus into the more invasive tissues such as hyphae or pseudohyphae. So this is the importance of the presence of bacterial flora inside the gut. So whenever the person is taking any type of broad spectrum antibiotic that kills the normal flora of the gut as well, that makes a person more prone to having these type of fungal infections. Antibiotic use presses competing bacterial flora and is the most common precipitating factor for the candidiasis, as we have discussed before, that if the person is taking any type of antibiotics, more commonly broad spectrum antibiotic that targets every type of bacteria inside the body, so it also destroys the normal flora of the body, and that makes the person more prone to the process of candidiasis. Under condition of unopposed growth, the yeasts convert into the invasive form, that is the hyphae and the pseudohyphae, and invades superficial and elicits an inflammatory or immunological response that takes place if the growth was unopposed by the bacterial flora in the normal body defenses. Okay, now when we talk about the trends that how it spreads and other process, the incidence of the invasive candidal infection is increasing. Frequent use of potent broad spectrum antibiotics. Now these are interconnected because Candida, as we have talked about, is limited by the normal flora. So when the normal flora is not present, because of that, the incidence of the disease is increasing. This type of antibiotics usually eliminates the bacteria and otherwise limits Candida colonization. This is the function of the this limitation of the candidal colonization is the function of the normal bacterial flora. Extended use of medical devices such as intravenous catheters, monitoring devices, endotracheal tubes, urinary catheters that provide access to the sterile sites for the fungal infection to grow over these areas. Okay, now all of the diseases or the form of the manifestations of the candida we have talked about were superficial, but it can be disseminated and it can be present in the whole of the body in the form of septicemia or bacteremia. That is when the intravenous drug users use the syringe that was infected with this type of fungi, and when they use it to inject medication inside the body, so they are released inside the bloodstream of the person, and it can lead to a very harmful, life-threatening, disseminated type of disease. So, superficial infections of the skin, oropharynx, and esophagus are common. Feature invasive organism is the most superficial epithelial layer are associated with acute inflammatory infiltrates, and yeast, pseudohyphae, and hyphae are present whenever we look at the area that is affected with this type of fungi, because hyphae and pseudohyphae are the invasive type of the yeast, that is the candida. So yeast are round, are 3 to 4 micrometer in diameter and displays septate hyphae. When we talk about candidal vaginitis, that is characterized by superficial invasion of the squamous epithelium of the vaginal wall, and inflammation is usually scanty. That means that the fluid, some type of pus, is also being released from the area. And when we talk about deep infections, when they take place, they are rare, but they can occur. They consist of multiple microabscesses, which contains yeast, hyphae, necrotic debris, and neutrophils. These microabscesses have these things present inside of them. Coming towards the clinical features, the various superficial cutaneous infections, they manifest as tender erythematous papules that expands to form confluent erythematous areas. So the area is going to be painful, it is going to be red, and it will be going to having some papules type of structure inside of them. And here are some manifestations depending upon the area that is affected by the disease. The first and the most common one is thrush, that is the oral infection. Then we have candidal vulvaginitis, that is the infection of the vagina and the vulva. Then we have candidal sepsis and disseminated candidiasis. As if you remember, we have talked about the intravenous drug users, that if they inject the infected syringe, that can transfer the fungi in the bloodstream of the person, that can lead to this manifestation of the disease. And then finally, candidal endocarditis. This is the form of a deep infection that is rare but is life-threatening. So the fungi starts to grow over the endocardium of the heart, that is known as candidal endocarditis. So in this section, we have talked about the yeast that is opportunistic in nature, known as Candida. We have talked about its epidemiology, about its pathophysiology, its pathology, and finally the clinical features. So this was all from this section. Thank you for watching Scardia.com.